everyone, my name is Krishnaik and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, today in this particular video we are going to discuss about hardware in AI. Now till now most of the videos that you have probably seen in my YouTube channel is about creating model, deploying that particular model, creating an API and exposing it to the front end application. The application can be a mobile app, it can be a web application. But more complex projects, if you really want to do, that really involves amazing hardwares, right? Now let me take a very good example. Right now inside my office, I have a switch to on and off the light. Now I have to go over there, probably switch it on, switch it off. Can I automate this task entirely with the help of hardware? And the answer is yes. Let me take one more example. So we have this amazing drone with us, right? Suppose I want to create an object detection model and probably deploy it in this drone through some hardware so that it will be able to do the face detection. Not only that, suppose I am entering into my office and I want to automate this light. As soon as I enter, the light should keep on, right? Or it should just be on at that point of time so that it can save electricity. When I'm not in the office, the light will be switched off. So this kind of amazing use case is only possible when we use this amazing hardwares. So I'm going to talk about different kind of hardwares. With respect to this, I'm also going to show you what all hardwares I have over here, and I'll be discussing that what all hardwares is there and what are the differences between them. In this hardwares, you can also create your own AI module and you can deploy it and you can use it anywhere to automate any kind of amazing task, right? So let's go ahead and let's try to do it and let's try to understand what all different kind of hardwares we can use in AI. So guys, we have two different types of hardware. One is SBC and one is SBM. SBC full form is nothing but single board microcontroller. So here I have some of the devices like Arduino. These all are single board microcontroller. If I talk about single board computers, then I have something like Json Nano. Probably this is what I will definitely show you, that what all things are there and what all things it is actually capable of, right? Again, remember this full form, single board computer. Okay, so based on these two things, one is microcontroller and a computer. You have an independent computer. It's just a minimized computer. Whatever computer we are actually using, we can just do all the coding in this and we can just use it in any kind of hardware to automate any kind of task. So let me go ahead and let me talk first about this simple single board controller, which is called as Arduino, right? So here you have this one. So in this Arduino, let me just talk about simple things, simple components in this Arduino, what all things we actually have. Let me just first of all talk about it. Always remember, in single board microcontroller, you will just have one controller. This is like everything is integrated in this. CPU, RAM, right? Small amount of RAM will be there, CPU will be there, which will be doing all the necessary tasks. Out of this entire component, one important component is the general purpose IO pins. So in this, you will be able to integrate any input and output. Let me just give you a very basic example. Suppose in one of the pin, I can actually connect to a sensor. Okay, suppose I'm entering into this room. Okay, so it can basically, I can connect an infrared sensor which will basically detect my motion, and based on that, through the next general purpose input output pin, it can on the light. So this is one definite example. So here you can basically see this are all my pins, right? And from this, the entire task can be processed. So this processor will be responsible in executing your code, right? From one of the pin, by using some libraries, yes, you can write this particular code in C programming. Okay, you can basically use a specific library and you can get that particular information of the sensor, and based on that sensor, through the other pin, you can execute whatever type of task you are planning to look at, right? So in one neuron also, we are going to integrate the entire course. The course will probably be for 10 hours by considering all these amazing devices that we have. Now coming to the next one. Now let me talk about the next device. This is called as Arduino UNO. Okay, and this is a better version when we compare to the previous one. Here you have a better controller, right? With respect to the configuration, you have many general purpose IO pins, right? So through this, you can definitely execute only one program. Understand guys, whenever we are talking about controller, right, you can just execute one program. But inside this program, since you have many general purpose IO pins, you can connect it to multiple sensors, and based on that you can actually execute or automate any kind of task, right? So apart from that, you also have a kind of power cable over here. You have different things. There is also something called as analog and digital. Probably it is not important to understand right now, but as soon as we go ahead and upload other videos, there I'll be talking about it detailing. Okay, now similarly you have the next version, again a better version than the previous one, and here also you have many things. Okay, it's all like when I am comparing from one Arduino microcontroller to the next version of Arduino microcontroller, over here you'll be just seeing that there will be additional general purpose IO pins. Apart from that, your controller will be better than the previous one. Okay, so this was some examples of the Arduino, and probably in the upcoming videos I'll be showing you some coding things that what we can implement in this and all. But understand, whenever we are talking about microcontroller, you can just execute one program. Now let's go to the better one. Okay, that is single board computers, right? First example that I would like to take about is the Raspberry Pi. So in this Raspberry Pi, whenever I talk about single board computer, understand this thing, you have a separate CPU, you have a separate RAM, you have a separate hard disk. Every components is basically separate, right? Like how a computer has separate components, right? This is just a small computer, you can understand in this way, right? You can basically see that you have an HDMI port, you have an Ethernet port. Apart from that, you also have some power port over here where you can basically connect and give this power to this. You can also use HDMI cable and connect it to any kind of output monitor or output device, so that you can see that specific results over there. So probably in the future, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use this device, whatever code I'm actually going to write, I'll just connect this entire device to the output monitor and probably show you the entire execution. And then not only this, we will be executing some complex object detection project also. At that point of time, you'll understand how amazing this all devices are, right? Now coming to the next one, most of the time, if I talk about single board computers, you'll be using 3 different devices, right? Or 4 different devices. One is Raspberry Pi, then you have Json Nano, then you have Json Xavier, you also have Google Coral, right? So all these devices can definitely be getting used. Now let me talk about Json Nano. So this is what a Json Nano single board computer looks like. Here, the most amazing thing is that here you have everything separately. You have a CPU, you have other things. Apart from this, you also have GPU. Right? So with the help of that particular GPU, obviously you know why we specifically use GPU and what are things we can actually do, right? So this is, and all the other things are almost same. You have an HDMI port, you have an Ethernet cable, you have a power cable, you have many general purpose input-output pins. You can also connect it to cameras. You know, you probably may have an independent camera which you can basically connect it over here, and you can also connect this to an output device where you can probably see the entire output that is going on. Okay, so this is with respect to the Json Nano. Now coming to the next one, again Json Xavier. This is a better version when compared to Json Nano. This has an amazing GPU. Again, you can go and check out the entire specification by just going into the Google and searching for Json Xavier specification. You just need to remember the device name, that's it, and then you will be able to get that entire information. Again, in this, apart from that amazing GPU it also has a good amount of RAM, somewhere around 8 GB I guess. If I go and see the specification, probably you'll be able to understand that. And apart from that, the same things that you have like Ethernet port, you have HDMI, you have other things, and apart from that you also have a power cable. Again, the task will be similar. Okay, you connect a sensor probably to a general purpose input-output pin, and then by using the other general purpose input-output pin, you will be able to execute a lot of tasks. Now, considering this, you know, you can also implement a lot of AI modules. Again, as I said, as we go ahead, a lot of examples will be shown to you, but here I really wanted to call about different devices. Now, this all are done. So guys, now we have discussed about all these hardwares. Now let's go and discuss about some of the sensors. So this is how you will probably get all the sensors in one box. Yes, there are many, but I'm just going to show you around 5 sensors. Otherwise, it will take me 2 hours to record and explain you about each and every sensor. Coming to the first sensor, this is the light sensor, right? So probably if you want to automate any kind of light task or do something with respect to that, you can use this specific sensors. Again, this sensor will only get connected to the general purpose input-output pins. This is very much important. You need to understand this, okay? And again, how do you connect it? You have to do some wiring, you have to connect it. I'll show you in the next video or upcoming videos. Now coming to the next one, this is amazing. Again, this is a smoke sensor, right? So smoke sensor you can see over here. Again, it will detect smoke, and based on that you can raise an alarm, you can do something, you can directly call someone. That task will be automated. In developed countries like Australia, US and all, what they do, they have a very strict policy with respect to smoke sensors. In a hotel, as soon as it gets sensed, directly call will go to the fire department, right? So they will come and put a hefty fine. Understand this. Then you have, this is an alcohol sensor. So for the people, okay, if you are very smart and if you know how to use it, after drinking, at least check in this, okay, then you will be able to probably write a code and try to determine that what is the level that you have there, and probably then only go outside, right, or call the driver and go. So this is what is the alcohol sensor, and based on this you can also automate a specific task. This is the infrared sensors. I told you one example. Probably I am entering inside, then only light should get on. I can use this specific sensor for that purpose. Then the best thing about mine, I have a passion of playing a lot of games. I can use also this joystick sensors, which can be used for again different tasks. Okay, so this was a complete idea about all the hardware we will probably be using at one point of time, as the course will get completed in iNeuron also, because parallelly I am also doing that. And once a specific amazing product gets created, we will try to develop that and we'll try to show it that to you. So I hope you like this particular video. This is probably the first time. You can just understand that the entire playlist will be created in this. Every day's one video will be definitely trying. I'll try my level best to bring one video at least and show you some amazing things. But understand why we are learning this. If you really want to get into a product-based companies, which is like core manufacturing companies where people bring up a lot of AI modules, they want to integrate with the hardware. Trust me, this will be an amazing skill set that will get added into your resume. This was it from my side. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you, one doll. Bye-bye.